close your eyes and imagine this. Don't look around to old Broadway. Drive loud on Broadway. Troubles there are out of style, so Broadway always wears a smile. With hearts beat quicker there. A million lights they flicker there. No clouds of gray.
For me, it's definitely more than just putting on a musical. I feel like I've learned a lot about musical theater that I wouldn't have learned if I had done any other production, because it's kind of like a workshop. They bring in everyone on the cast everyone in the crew is professional. So we have a professional director and the backstage crew, and so you feel like you are actually in a professional cast. And so since you're treated that way, you learn what it's like to be in a professional cast. A lot of the cast I already know from past productions, and the new people, it's safe to say that we're a big happy family. Doing a 9-to-5 rehearsal schedule all month long really bonds people together. So I feel very close to the people and we're good friends.
Well, I've always kind of been, I'm a very quiet person, and I'm also kind of a show-off, and I like to, if I know I do something well, I want to show other people and be like, hey, look what I can do. But it's also kind of this thing of helping entertain other people and becoming this different person every night. It's really intriguing, and I love doing it. I was in like the 5th grade, and they were holding auditions for the middle school production of, I think it was like Bugsy Malone. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. And then I did it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. And I haven't stopped doing it since.
My interest in musical theater, it's very much a passion of mine, and I sadly am not studying it in college, but it's something that has always kept me grounded and made me have an outlet to turn to, and has served as like a home base for everything. So it really, it's a part of who I am, I think, along with, I like vocals more than musical, than acting, but it's been a big part of my life. I am going into musical theater, but not for acting. I am going into the design aspect of it, like along the lines of set and costume, because that's really where my talents lie, where I could maybe advance more than I would as an actor. So my dream is to work for Disney, like Disney World, Disney Animation, any of it. Any of it. I will mop their floors if I can work at Disney World.
Oh, I'm afraid.
What?
You're afraid?
Yeah, you're right, Marshall.
Okay.
Camera.
Run.
Slate.
Scene 1, shot 1J, take 2.
And action!
Yeah. little chubby munchkin Graham, about this tall, 4 years old. My sister, obviously, again, she was the one that got me into theater, and I'd always been at their rehearsals. I was always a little brother in the back, actually playing Pokemon, sitting in the back of my Game Boy. It was fine.
Yeah.
But I remember the rule was you had to be 7 years old, and I always had looked forward to that point. I've looked always into kind of more technical theater, learning like design, learning how to do stuff in the back, and probably if I do come to SIU, which I most likely will, I would love to just kind of pursue that more, so that way I both have my love for theater, but also the love for technology at the same time. So.
It's been really interesting to see how they work and to see how real world acting and everything like that actually comes together to put on a show and, you know, teach us all and everything that they do. So I feel like it's a lot more fun than what I've done in the past.
I've done tap before, but I've never done anything like this intensive with tap. And also it's an older show, like 1920s. So I've done a show in the 1940s like era before, but I've never done anything 1920s.
I've been dancing competitively since I was 2. So I started off with ballet and tap. So musical theater has been a very big part of my life. And my friend Garrett James, he did the high school show, and he told me that I should come and do this because I've done community theater around the area for a long time, so it was just a new place to start a new beginning.
I started theater when I was around 11 or 12. I had always loved music, but I hadn't really started until I did a couple theater camps over in Marion, and then I finally started doing shows when I was in 5th or 6th grade or so. And then it stuck, and then been doing it ever since. I find that, especially with ASHIP, bringing a very professional side, working with a very, very professional team that help you to understand what it's really going to be like is very helpful.
So make it kind of like you're starting this and then you're gonna, I got an idea, boom, boom.
And in the words of that immortal bard Samuel J. Snodgrass, as he was about to be led to the guillotine, make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh, don't you know everyone wants to.
My dad was the music instructor. He taught music for a long time at Shawnee Community College, and he was the orchestrator for the pit at Shawnee. And he told me about the shows, and I went and saw them, and that kind of struck a love for theater, and I wanted to be in the shows whenever I could, so.
This is going to be my 18th production, so I'm very, very excited about that. But this is my first, like, tap dancing production, so. Well, my entire family's musical. There's not a single one of us that can't play an instrument or sing or anything like that.
Everyone that I met through high school that was still with me in theater has always been like very supportive of what I'm doing and very like influential in like getting me into this and taking me, like driving me physically to different auditions.
This is gonna sound dumb, but my 6th grade year, I moved to a new school and I saw their musical. That year it was Beauty and the Beast. And I promised myself when I got to high school, I would audition for the musical. And I did, and I wish I would have done it sooner, so. Okay, I'm majoring in hospitality management this fall. And so that'll get me into like event planning and stuff like that. I love to organize stuff. So I'll do that, and then I'm hoping to do the Disney program, maybe my sophomore and junior year of college, so yeah.
I had come and seen the show the past 2 years, and I'd always like said I wanted to do it, but I was always really busy in the summer.
Right.
So since I just graduated, I had more time to do it. So one of the first musicals I can remember watching on TV was Music Man. And I just fell in love with every aspect of it, just the singing and the dancing and the acting. I don't know.
I had heard about the auditions in choir class, and I knew some of the people from my school were going to be auditioning as well, so I decided why not audition. When we were like in intermediate school, we got to see the high school shows during the school days, and ever since I saw my first show, I just fell in love with the theater.
My mom did theater, and she really just wanted at least one of her kids to go into theater. And she didn't think that any of her kids were going to go into theater. And then she had me, and I really love theater. I just love musical theater so much, and I really wanted to do a show during the summer, which was never optional because most theater groups around here never do shows during the summer. First rehearsal is always just a little bit nerve-wracking because you don't know what you're walking into, but it's always very, very fun, and that's why I come every year.
It's so much different from doing like a cast with a bunch of people and then like a cast with just 25 kids, and you make stronger bonds with people here and you get more help. My future plans, I want to be a surgical dentist and go to school for that. But like while I'm doing school, I want to go perform at like Disney World.
Well, a lot of my friends were in it and they were telling me how fun it was, so I've been doing plays for a really long time, so I figured I'd do the high school one too. I play a lot of sports and I really like to focus on those. Theater's more of a hobby for me.
A lot of people want to go to SIU or like John A, somewhere close to do their undergrad. I have a couple colleges in mind, one in Georgia, one in Seattle I'm looking at across America. And I kind of want to do year abroad. I'm not sure, but I want to major or definitely get my BFA in theater.
Oh, but my mom is big into acting. She got her degree in theater here at SIU. So I was in plays before this, but Singing in the Rain, I was like, I've never really been in like a musical that I've had tap dancing in, you know, like I've never even tap danced before. And so I actually auditioned with a friend, and I was like, you know, why not? I mean, it's something fun to do with my summer. It seems great. I think that acting in the whole McLeod community, the acting community in general, is a good place to be and a good people to know. Well, my mom showed me the original thing, and she knew I would love the musical because I love tap dancing. Like, all of this is very natural to me. I love being on stage and performing, and my auditions are fun.
My cousin Brax, Don Lockwood, he's the reason I started doing McLeod and this stuff. So, since Brax started doing theater, that's what led me there, was Brax and all that stuff. And generally, we're pretty artsy and stuff, family anyways, so.
My cousin Aaliyah did Legally Blonde the year before, and she said she enjoyed it, and it was one of her favorite acting experiences. So I think that's what made me want to join McLeod Summer Playhouse for my first time. The process was that you went in and sang a song for Wes Drummond, and they had an accompanist, which this year it was Kevin Smith. And then Wes taught us a short dance number, and we performed that in groups for him and someone else. And then a couple of days, they had callbacks that day, and a couple of days later, they had the cast list sent out, I believe, by email. And so that's how the audition process went. And it wasn't necessarily scary, but it was just, I guess, making me anxious to get to know if I was going to be a certain role or what.
Well, I did the professional company. I did Annie with the professional company when I was like littler, and I just remembered how much I loved it doing it, and it was such a good experience for me. And I was considering not doing musicals anymore, and then I was like, well, I'll give it one more shot.
And so I decided to do this, and every summer it never fails to just like remind me how much I really like doing musicals. It always reminds me of how important they are to me and just how fun they are.
I plan on hopefully going to Belmont University and getting a major in musical theater or classical music in general. I've worked with a acting group out of Marion called Paradise Alley Players for quite a few years until I outgrew their age limit. And I have done a couple of shows with Creative.
Oh, okay.
And one with Run Like College.
I mean, I love the shows and like getting to be with all these people who love it so much and getting to do it all together and like be a big family and stuff. I don't see myself going into musical theater as like for college or whatever, but I think it's just a good learning experience for me and getting my confidence up for other things. Everybody's really good, but they're all friendly, so I don't feel like excluded or anything.
Let me see. Can my principals sit down for me? Can my girls on the stage sit down for me? So who's having an issue? Is it Aaliyah? What's that?